Merry Christmas, Chiefs Kingdom. Today, I bring you, in my jolly sack, I bring you Chiefs rumors. That is what is on the agenda today on this Christmas-themed episode of the Chiefs Report. Hope you're enjoying some time off work and your holidays with the family, but we're talking about Matt Nagy. Could Matt Nagy be potentially exiting the Kansas City Chiefs this offseason? Could Andy Reid be potentially exiting the Kansas City Chiefs this offseason? We're going to talk about both those things. And then why I think at least half of that could potentially be very good news for the Kansas City Chiefs. That's going to dominate today's show. And then we're going to round it out with some big news for the Chiefs. Our Pro Bowl selections are out. The AFC and NFC Pro Bowl rosters are here. We're going to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs that did get selected and the guys that made it as alternates. But first, let's talk about Andy Reid's job security, because there's been a lot of discussion in Chiefs spaces, especially on Twitter, where I like to hang out and see what we're up to, about whether or not we're firing Andy Reid. And I've made my thoughts on this clear in the past. I think it's a ridiculous sentiment, and Tom Pelissero and Ian Rappaport agree with me. They said legendary coach Andy Reid isn't getting fired. And people who know Reid well say he has given no indications he'll walk away at age 67. They continue, for the first time in years, he'll finally have a full offseason to recharge. As one person close to him said, Coach Reid ain't going out like this. Another said simply, he'll be back. So look, it's always been ridiculous to speculate about Andy Reid's job, but can we finally put it to bed? He's not retiring. And he is sure as hell is not going to freeze over getting fired. I know. We're going to talk about some of the deficiencies with the offense, which Andy Reid absolutely has a role in later in today's episode. I understand the frustration with Andy Reid, but we all need to be a little bit more realistic about the idea of firing him. Something I see way too much in Chiefs circles right now. Just settle down a little bit on that one. We've got one of the greatest coaches in the entire history of the game. You would be a fool to fire him. But let's talk about Matt Nagy, because this is more realistic. Here's what Pelissero and Rappaport had on him. One situation to watch. Offensive coordinator Matt Nagy chose not to sign an extension in the offseason and is set to become a free agent. Nagy will be a top head coaching candidate and could well land a job. If he doesn't, Nagy could become a hot candidate for a play calling job. That would mean Reid needs a new OC, with several of his former assistants, including Eric Bieniemy and perhaps Giants interim head coach Mike Kafka, among potential candidates. This, my friends, is the one to watch for. This is the situation that has real juice, in my opinion. The idea that Matt Nagy might exit Kansas City. And there's a lot that's kind of rolling towards that, in my opinion. Lot of different things coming together to indicate that Nagy could be headed out the door. And we're going to break that all down. But I got to say, this is why you hit the subscribe button. Because my real ones, my long-term subscribers, guys who've been watching all season long, this is no surprise whatsoever. We talked about this on November 10th, all the way back on November 10th. We were talking about the possibility that Matt Nagy might leave, where he might go. We've already talked about this news just a little bit. We're going to elaborate on it a lot today, as I told you guys then that we would if it continued to pick up steam. But hey, got to pat ourselves on the back a little bit. We were on this early, so make sure you hit that subscribe button for the latest Chiefs news and the latest Chiefs rumors. We cover them all. And hey, we know what we're doing around here, as evidenced. But Dianna Russini has kind of been the driver of a lot of these. We talked about her when we originally brought this up, and she had this to say on Matt Nagy. She said, Chiefs offensive coordinator Matt Nagy is viewed internally as a serious candidate, referring to Nashville's coaching search, the Tennessee Titans. Nagy will be in Nashville on Sunday with Kansas City, but NFL rules state there can't be any job discussions. So, this is the destination. If you're wondering, obviously there's been buzz around Nagy, but buzz to where? Buzz to the Tennessee Titans. Friends. And why? Number one, Mike Borgonzi. This is the primary reason, the biggest one by far. Mike Borgonzi, who, if you're not familiar with Borgonzi, spent a lot of time in Kansas City from 2013 to 2024 before exiting to become the Titans general manager this past season. He is believed to be very fond of Matt Nagy. He's driving the boat on the Titans head coaching search alongside their president of football operations, Chad Brinker, and it is believed that he has a strong connection with Matt Nagy still to this day. And beyond that, even just the personal connections with Mike Borgonzi, which, hey, personal connections get things done in the NFL and in life around the world when it comes to getting jobs. We all know that, fair or not. He's an offensive-minded head coach. And when you think about having Cam Ward right now, having a young rookie quarterback or be a second-year quarterback when and if Nagy does end up taking over, you've got a young guy. You want to bring in an offensive mind that can work with him, that can develop him, and that can get the most out of an extremely talented player. Cam Ward's the first overall pick. It didn't go well with Brian Callahan this year. He wasn't the right offensive mind to get the most out of him, but could Nagy be that guy? Perhaps. He had a lot of success with Alex Smith when Alex Smith was in Kansas City. Had a lot of success with Patrick Mahomes, especially in 2023 and 2024. And lastly, the biggest other reason outside of Borgonzi that I think Nagy continues to come up in discussion, his contract's up after this season. And Kansas City reportedly wanted to meet with him about it, but he was not interested in renegotiating the deal yet, suggesting he feels like there's real buzz and real possibility he'll be in the coaching search this offseason, be a real candidate for a lot of people. And look at that. Seems like Tennessee is hot on him, at least at this time. But, guys, I'm not going to lie to you. I would be perfectly fine seeing this happen. I really, really would. I think that there is a real world in which getting Matt Nagy poached, which usually is a net negative for teams, usually almost a unanimously bad thing to have happen to your team, could, for the Kansas City Chiefs, be one of the best things that happens this offseason. I think this could be huge, huge positive news for Kansas City. And we're going to break that down in just a minute, exactly why I think this could be massive, massive news, going in the right direction for Kansas City. Maybe the first step to a winning offseason for the Chiefs, you could even say. But first, we got to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video, and that is Omaha Steaks. Guys, Omaha Steaks, you've heard me talk about them before. Unrivaled quality and unrivaled variety, guys. The best in the meat industry, whether you're going for their steaks, their juicy burgers, or their jumbo-style franks, they're all fantastic. And they make some of the best holiday gifts you can give somebody. I know I told you guys, but my brother-in-law and my future sister-in-law are both getting Omaha Steaks for Christmas this year. Hopefully they're not listening to the show, but it's on the way for them. Christmas just around the corner, so hopefully they don't have time to get to this one before the gifts arrive. But like I said, they're going to be thrilled when they open them because it's unrivaled quality and variety, and every bite is backed by their 100% guarantee. And right now is the perfect time to save on those delicious gifts and holiday hosting favorites because, guys, I've got an exclusive deal just for our Chiefs Report viewers. The Kingdom is going to get an extra $35 off with promo code Chiefs at checkout. So save big on unforgettable gifts with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide and an extra 20% off select favorites during their Sizzle All the Way sale. And for an extra $35 off, use promo code Chiefs at checkout. That's omahasteaks.com. Promo code Chiefs at checkout. Terms to apply. See site for details. The link will be in the description and in the pinned comment. As always, if you guys want to go check out Omaha Steaks, please use promo code Chiefs. Save yourself $35 and support the channel. But let's talk about why I think the departure of Nagy could be massively good news for Kansas City. Because, look, guys, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to watch this offense and figure out we had major issues, and Matt Nagy was not helping. This guy was not helping. We were moving in the wrong direction with Matt Nagy. I strongly feel that way. And if you don't agree that our offense had major issues this year, if you don't agree that Nagy was a problem within this structure, let's look at some stats together. 27th in the NFL in penalties per game this season, averaging almost 9 penalties per game. We were the 4th worst in drops in the entire NFL. this season. So poor execution when it comes to discipline. Poor execution from our receivers. Now let's check in on the rushing offense. How did we do there? 22 carries from our running backs for 10 plus yards, representing 7.3% of the total running back workload, going for more than 10 yards. Hey guys, these are abysmal statistics. Again, you don't have to be a football expert. You don't have to be a genius. These suck. This is putrid. Absolutely, absolutely it is. You should not fail upwards in this way. This should not be the offense that you coordinate and then you go get to be a head coach somewhere. That's unbelievable in a lot of ways. And a decision that a franchise like the Tennessee Titans could only really make. Maybe them and the Browns are the only franchises that would do that. But a lot of people want to point the finger at Andy Reid for all of these issues, which I understand the desire to do. Andy Reid is the play caller for this offense. 100% he is. But what is Matt Nagy's job? He's the offensive coordinator. What does an offensive coordinator do? If not call plays, they help with the execution. They're supposed to be week to week ensuring that execution on this offense is as good as it could be. And can anybody sit here and tell me, watching this video, that you feel like the Chiefs' execution was anywhere close to as good as it could be this year? Because if you can, you're a fucking liar. I don't have anything else to tell you on that one. If that's what you're going to tell me, I'm going to tell you you're a liar. The Chiefs are 1-7 in one-score games this year. 1-7. A superpower of ours last season turned into an absolutely devastating Achilles heel. And why? Why did we suck so bad in one-score games this season? I think you could point the finger at Matt Nagy, at least partially. You talk about the fourth quarter performance of our offense. The way we performed in the fourth quarter specifically was absolutely atrocious. Let's look at some advanced stats here, some nerd stats. EPA per play, 25th. Yards per play, 23rd. Rushing EPA, 26th. Passing EPA, 10th. You were good at one thing. One thing. Passing the football in the fourth quarter. When you needed it. When you had to have it. You sucked at basically everything except for passing the ball. And look, I don't give you any credit for that. I don't give you any points for finishing 10th in passing. Why? Because you have the best quarterback in the entire league. You should be first. 10th is a joke. We have Patrick Mahomes. What are we doing? 10th in passing is not acceptable with Patrick Mahomes. It is not. Any season in which your offense is this bad, in which you are this uncompetitive, is a failure. And when you have a guy like this, it is just downright pathetic for the offense to be this bad. That is a coaching issue at the end of the day. Having Patrick Mahomes alone should elevate the floor significantly higher than this. And yet it did not. Consistently this season, this offense underperformed, especially when they had to have it. And look, not that much changed in the offseason. Not that many new guys coming in, not that many guys going out. At the end of the day, this comes down to coaching, and the coaching was a failure from Matt Nagy. At the end of the day, Nagy failed on a coaching front. Let's talk about, I'm wrapped up on the Nagy discussion. I think I'm just going to get more and more angry if we keep going in on Nagy. But as things continue to come up with Nagy being connected to the Titans, we'll continue to discuss it. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you stay here with the Chiefs Reports for the latest on that. But let's talk about something else. The guys who ended up being selected to the Pro Bowl. We had 4 selections. 4 guys make it straight up on the roster. Number 1, Travis Kelce, which I've seen a lot of hemming and hawing about, if you will, given some notable drops this season, some criticism of his performance in the public. He deserves it. He absolutely does. This is not just a popularity contest thing. He had a very good season. Over 800 yards for Travis Kelce, one of his most efficient years as a receiver in the last 4 seasons. Very good year from Kelce. Obviously, some notable mistakes which I've taken him to task to. Everybody in the media has taken him to task to. But you got to look at the totality of what he was able to accomplish, especially at his age, and he deserves a Pro Bowl spot. Chris Jones, another guy who, especially as the year went along, 100% deserves this recognition. We talked about him a couple times towards the back half of the season as just outright game wrecking. Even games that we lost, it felt like Chris Jones was really one of the only guys on the defense that was capable of consistently getting pressure, that was capable of affecting opposing run games and opposing pass games on a consistent basis. So 100% well-deserved, 7th Pro Bowl selection of Jones's career. And lastly are two guys who, hey, if they didn't make the Pro Bowl, I might have to travel to Orlando, wherever they're hosting this thing this year, and fight somebody myself. Creed Humphrey, 4th Pro Bowl selection for the best center in the NFL. Should be no contest here. It's what can be said about Creed Humphrey that has not already been said. He's utterly fantastic. And Trey Smith, right there with him. 2 of the best offensive linemen in the entire league. Injury issues for Trey Smith this year, but still selected to the Pro Bowl. And in a landslide, might I add, just shows how much respect there is for him around the NFL. Guys who were Pro Bowl alternates this year. Patrick Mahomes, 7th Pro Bowl for him. Obviously, he's not going to play in it, but this would have been his 7th Pro Bowl overall if he was able to appear. But given the situation with his injury, that is not going to happen. Bummer for Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, he doesn't get the opportunity to appear in these things very often, so I think he would have taken it. Trent McDuffie, 1st Pro Bowl selection for Trent McDuffie, which surprised me a lot, given he's been a 1st and 2nd team All-Pro selection, but has never, I believe, garnered enough of the fan vote to get a Pro Bowl selection. So good job, Chiefs Kingdom, on getting McDuffie into the Pro Bowl this year. And another first-time Pro Bowler, Nick Bolton. This one surprised me for different reasons. I honestly feel like, I hate to say this about one of our guys, but Nick Bolton had a tough year, especially late in the season. Some really good plays in run defense at times, solid. Some good moments in pass coverage, but man, I feel like every other week he dropped an interception that would have been very critical if we'd had it. Got to work on that in the offseason. Catch the balls, Nick Bolton. But I want to hear from you guys. Who should go to the Pro Bowl? If you can only have one of our 2 alternates that are actually capable of doing it, go to the Pro Bowl. Who do you think deserves it more? Trent McDuffie, type TM. I think I've kind of made it obvious that that's where I would be leaning. Trent McDuffie. Obviously, he had some difficulties of his own this season, but I think continues to be one of the better corners in the entire league. Or Nick Bolton, our inside linebacker, who is very solid, but definitely had some struggles this year. You're going TM or NB. Let me know in the comments who you think most deserves to make their first Pro Bowl appearance this year. And we'll see you guys later this week. We're going to talk about instant reaction to the game against the Broncos on Thursday after it happens. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. We'll break down what it means for Kansas City, especially as it pertains to the draft order, as we continue to hopefully rise up the draft order, trying to get that top 10 pick. We'll see how that goes on Thursday. And until then, let's go Kansas City Chiefs.